Hey guys, and we are back for another version of building an antivirus version 2. Now, in this episode today, we're going to be adding some functionality to our pipe which is required. So, if you look back on the original project, we had the number of files scanned, the total number of files, the total number of detections, and if we come over here to our, is it in here or did we keep it in? We made a unit for it. So as you can see here, we have all of the variables that our scan engine is going to produce. So usually antiviruses show the argument between the total number of objects scanned and the total number of objects to be scanned, so that a user is able to adequately determine how far into the scanning process they are. We're already going to show the current object, but most often antivirus vendors show the number of detected files. So we're going to set a function up that's going to send these variables back to our client, so that we can then go and edit the client and add the variables to that. So we should be doing that today. And so we're going to come over to our scan engine util unit. And sorry, I've got a bit of a cold or something killing my throat, so I'll try and speak as clearly as I can. So we need to create a function called update client scan progress. Now, this is a procedure because we don't want anything back from it. Once we send the message, we don't really need to know anything. As well as, due to the fact that we set our variables up in the manner we did, we don't actually need to send any variables to the function. We can simply call this function and have it automatically grab the global variables and send them. So first of all, we need to declare a var, and we need ourselves a temporary message, which is actually just going to be a string. A Unicode string to be precise. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick our temporary message here. And what we're going to do here is we're going to construct in the function the message we want to send. So if we come over to our named pipe commands, update GUI. So we already have an update GUI, but I think we've used this one already. This possibly might have to be a different one. Yeah, so we've used this one. So we will create another one. And it doesn't really matter how many of these predefined message characteristics you actually create. The only thing that you might run into is that you might run out of numbers eventually. But that would take you years. So we're going to use this constant we just created. We just add a number to the end. As long as you, if you notice, I've left breaks in it. There'll be errors that we have to report, and there'll be scan messages that need to be sent back which don't contain variables. So we're going to come back to our utils here, and this is going to become the first piece of our message. And I don't remember whether we did set a delim, which is great. So we can then add the delimiter in the middle and our message. Now, we need to know exactly which messages we want to send, and we need to turn them all into strings. So normally I would send, or commonly I should say, I would send the current file, then the total objects. Then I would send the scanned objects. Then I would send the detected. There's not really any point in sending the failed to detect. I've just dropped my pen on the floor. There's not really much point in sending the failed to open and the file's too big. They will simply be chucked into the report for later determination by the user, really. Where have we left our function? Here. So first we want to send, as I just said, we would like to send the current object. So we're going to stick our current object here, and you can press enter as long as you put something there. And we don't have this as a variable. So let me clean this up quickly. And yep, it's cleaned up. So next we want to send the delim again. And so on along the line of variables. Now next we're sending the total scanned, which as some of you might notice is an integer. However, Delphi is well built for this, so we need to do an int to string. So it's exactly what it sounds like. You turn an integer into a string, and we can send it. And then once again, we need to do the same thing with the number of objects that are scanned currently, which is here. And then lastly we want, so if we clean this up again, we need to go delim. And lastly we want int to string, and we want to send the number of files currently detected, stored here. Now we're going to call this at the start of our scan function, purely because the amount of files that you'll be scanning through, you won't necessarily need to call it multiple times. However, if you are scanning one file, you will have to call it twice. So when we go back to developing part of the scan engine, we will add that so that the file will go, if you scan a single file, you get it called twice. So positioning this is actually important. We want to make sure that we're not scanning ourselves, and we need to wait for the increased count to go. So if we stick this here, this will fire off a message every time scan object is called. It will send a message back to the client and update the graphics on the client with the current scan object and with the current total count. We may have cocked up. We may have indeed cocked up. We have. You guys might find this from time to time. I work on quite a few projects at the same time, and hence sometimes cock up. Where is that declared? So total object count should have been the, yes, we have cocked up. So this variable here shouldn't be that, it should be this. We would have noticed that quite quickly once we get this to the stage at which it would have run. The number wouldn't have gone up. It's quite a trivial little bug. So just going to edit it whilst we're there. Let me see what time we're at. So that's about it for this episode. I'm trying to keep them to 10 minutes. It seems to be working. People seem to be watching them longer. So if you enjoyed this video, you know where that thumbs up button is. If you disliked it, you know where the dislike button is. I will be doing a post in the next few days, a video about a separate project that I'm considering with this source code. So keep your eyes peeled, and until next time. Hey guys, these are 2 videos you might enjoy. How to get Delphi for nothing, and here's another project that you might consider.